Hey, you guys. I know that I said I would go over this internal affairs file the other day about how they are blaming a victim, a white woman, for for her own sexual assault. I mean, somebody sexually assaulted her that was on the force. And then we got Jonathan Pinto signing this document. The person's name is Israel Martinez. Now, I didn't look up this person. I don't know if this is a real name, but this is, this is something that it goes through the LAPD. So, as I've shown you, these loopholes in the law where they're keeping you as a child, they don't have jurisdiction because you can't sue ICE. ICE is beyond the law. Can't sue them. But you can sue people that are executing a trust where the trust is targeting people by gender or race or religious observance. You can go after those people. But anyway, I just wanted to show you this. And I also found this weird document about who is eligible for. It says detailed narrative summaries for death-eligible cases. And it says that they redacted certain information from this. But when you look at it, you've got penalty trial death sentences, penalty trial life sentences, and no penalty trial. All right. So penalty trial death sentences, people are eligible for this. So, I mean, you can look at these names, but we got Marie Moore down here, and we got Marco Bay, like when somebody calls you Bay, hey Bay, or whatever. Again, early in the morning of April 2nd, 1983, Patrolman Kenneth Rittenauer of the Neptune Police Department. Look, there's several fractures to the face and skull. Now remember, I was beaten up by a state official, somebody who works for the state, and the LAPD would not help me. So I just want you to know it's not just one person that does this. It's an active group of hate against white Christian females. I mean, it just is. So the vacant lot theory, I mean, you can look at this. It's very weird. But remember Neptune, how they use Neptune. So they're doing multiple fractures to the facial bones and skull. And the root of her nose completely flattened, several teeth. I mean, literally, they write it down and then act it out, if that makes sense. All right, that's just my theory on how this works. They attach us to crimes. Like I said, John Kim, who's a lawyer, attached a crime with Eric Garcetti's signature on it to somebody named Charlie Ann, A-H-N, in criminal court back years, I think from the 80s or 90s, Charlie Ann. And when you think about Charlie Brown and always taking away the football from Charlie Brown, you got Lucy taking it away from him. And they do it through sabotage. But this is like it's a pretty weird document. So what they do is they try to get you to commit a crime. And then they do all of this stuff without this is very weird, without your knowledge. Like, you have criminal charges filed against you under another person's charges because you are being kept under the DHS in this way. So this is a pretty weird document, but I think this one's weirder. Because what they do when you go through it, we got a serial number right here. Advocate section, internal affairs group. So the person who beat me up, she works for like the State Commission on Equity for other Americans, and I worked for her for a long time. She beat me up. She arranged that I would get my hands burned by working for this guy that works for UCLA named Charles Weinstein. He goes by Les Weinstein. And so he had a computer that was damaged, and so my hands kept getting shocked and burned. And then Karen took that story, Karen Tucker took that story and sued Hewlett Packard for my injuries for $25 million. And then they just kind of keep it in court. So it's you. Anyway. Remember, 3 is the number they use for federal programs. Count 3. On or about September 11th, there's that number again. Whenever you see September 11th, you know it's a torture protocol, terrorist protocol. Inappropriately engaged in sexual activity in a public place. So they're calling where we were a public place. And I'm not saying this is exact, but this is the way it works. You can look up this number if you want. The department alleges that Officer Martinez inappropriately converted an on-duty contract into an off-duty relationship. So that's conversion, if you guys know the law of conversion, where they're stealing your assets and making products and derivatives from those assets and selling them without your consent. That's also conversion. You're not supposed to be able to take people's eggs or uterus, or, you know, you're not supposed to be able to do that. But these things don't get released until the time frame of the investigation is over. So if it's a huge crime, they just keep it in, you know, hidden forever. So they're saying Martinez shouldn't be sanctioned, and they took out some of the allegations as unfounded. I don't know what CP means. Sorry, I'm sure they told me at some point. So they're saying, so right here, they're trying to paint the woman as crazy. The CP had made multiple inconsistent statements to the investigators during their interviews. The CP told the investigators that she laundered the dirty clothing from the night of the alleged assault, and it was later determined to be false. The CP asserted, you know, so they basically are, I believe, you guys know what I believe, is they use that clinic to assault women to then study the women's reaction to the assaults. But before you ever get to the clinic, there's other crimes against humanity that are happening. You know, you get beat up or raped and you go to the police and they won't investigate. So administrative insight, training issues, none. Workplace issues, none. Officer Martinez had been working as a foot beat officer. Remember, you guys who know about podiatry and CIA, foot beat officer at Hollywood Entertainment District since 2016. During his tenure, he did not have any adverse complaint findings. He has only one neglect of duty with the disposition, non-disciplinary. Okay, so this is like Corey Palka. This just doesn't even... CP Palka. But this doesn't look like that signature. This looks like a different name to me. So, internal... Okay, serial number 33497, Criminal Investigation Division, CID, Central Section. He can be contacted, blah, blah, blah. The new administrative statute date for this case is April 20th, 2018. Remember, they're really loose with these dates, so... George was later determined to be Los Angeles Police Department Police Officer Israel Martinez, serial number 41119. To avoid confusion in this investigation, Officer Martinez will be referred to as I. Martinez. Okay, so you go down and you're reading, and there's lots of sex stuff and lots of, you know, there's some really interesting facts in here where they're going by different names and they're using different names. Now you're just calling it I. Martinez. Room 121. Allowed him in the room. Okay, so this is a, sorry, there's some, you know, graphic stuff up here. Okay. I. Martinez picked up the condom. The I.O. inquired if there were any witnesses. Remember, I.O. is also an operating system. Said that during the rape, she remembered a female with blonde hair walking back and forth just outside the enclosed dumpster area. Also saw another female standing at an apartment balcony looking down. Believed the female in the balcony witnessed the incident. Later, the true location of the alleged assault was determined. Then she met an unknown male at a Hollywood casino. Admitted she started to drink lots of alcoholic beverages. Dropped off at the 7-Eleven. There's the 7-Eleven. I mean, 7-Eleven is on one of my marriage records. I just think 7-Eleven is a number to kind of identify the people being held as, you know, to be used in these ways. Again, September 11th, went to a bar. She described it as a Mexican bar. She described the officer as being of Spanish descent and did not remember anything else. Admitted that, I mean, it's like such a weird, if someone's getting raped, right? They're really saying that she was crazy, but I haven't even shown this again, but Hollywood Entertainment District, HED, George I. Martinez. I mean, I think this is a number we should look up, 1738 North Whitley. both he and agreed to hook up. So what they're doing later is they're saying that she is an attention-seeking person, which is really weird because one of these guys that I used to hang out with would always say that I was a narcissist, but all of this is in it's in these reports where they blame the victim for being. I found some more inconsistencies in this report, this sexual assault report. Basically, the woman who was sexually assaulted said that she did not want to be transported. Then all of a sudden in this report, it's saying they're transporting her. And though she said she would seek medical care if she wanted to. So let me show you this. So they get a warrant and they go and they search, and the evidence is getting booked at Property Division, Addendum 9. All right. You know what I think that is. So during her initial interview, she did in fact show numerous bruises on her upper body and chest that she claimed were being roughly handled by Martinez. These bruises were noted in the SART exam stated that the bruises were on body prior to them driving to Los Angeles. This person is described as a female who craves attention and has an addiction to drugs and alcohol. Past behavior, drug addiction, and proclivity to tell lies has resulted in the Arizona courts taking her children away from her and giving custody to the mother. Now, if you know the creative ways they're using children and, pretending you're your own child, they're taking custody away. I mean, you have to look at this kind of broadly, right? And then you got 1810 Tamarind. I mean, this is just weird. Also included in her email, photographs of the white apartment building, trash bins, and the chain link fence. So this is weird too. They did not know the female and described her as being crazy. The female would scream and yell at people if they tried to talk to her. Now, these are interesting too. Advised that the female with blonde hair may have been loitering inside the apartment building, had posted signs for other tenants to not allow the female inside the building, described the female as being crazy. So this female, whoever it is, now look, it got Scientology in here. This is not Addendum 11 and Addendum 9, I guess we have to look up, but I'm just saying it's not exactly what it appears to be, I don't think. I think this is a code, a very coded document. LAPD Forensic Science Division Toxicology Laboratory report was completed. Provided urine sample. Urine tested positive for amphetamines. Addendum 13. Now, I don't know if your body can test for amphetamines from other drugs, but if they're committing crimes or framing you for crimes, they're just making up whatever they want too. Again, Attorney Shannon Presby, Justice System Integrity Division, Deputy DA Dave Ronert was assigned to review. This is crazy. The post-assault medical examination. So what I think they do is they consent you to a nose surgery, and then they do all of this stuff to you, and then call it an investigation, and then they hold it so that you can't advance your case, and then they just keep going, you know, saying you owe money and in court or whatever, when they've really already gotten all of your money, they've gotten all of your assets and organs, with intent that you won't survive. And that's very, very sick. It's very sick. So Inglewood Police, DR number 16-66586. There's that number. Forensic medical report, sexual assault examination in the name of whatever Doe, patient number 5159111. Motel 6 surveillance video disc. A copy of photographs of text messages between these people. A lot of these people are undercover, so you don't even know their real names anyway. A copy of Los Angeles Police Department statement from Sergeant Michael Ornelas. Photo identification report. Black pickup truck parked at the Hollywood police station. Search warrant and declaration of facts completed by Sergeant Gillies and approved by Honorable Peter Hernandez. Photograph copy of the location of the alleged rape, sodomy. Photograph of the captured vehicle license plate numbers from the Scientology building. I don't think this is a mistake that these things are listed. J. Mastic, officer in charge, criminal investigation, detective criminal investigation. I just find it to be a very odd little document I found. So I have some serial numbers on my fake marriages. And I wonder if it matches any of these. Anyway, that's it for now.